Thanks for clicking on the video, and here on our Mimic, we are going to go over an old paperback novel. This is Red Sonja, Eldithor's daughter. This is number 4 in a series of 6. Obviously, there are going to be heavy spoilers in this review, so be warned. So let's get started. Just to recap, I haven't read all of the books in this series yet. I'm trying to catch up with my backlog of books I picked up in the 80s. And yeah, this book is still in fantastic condition, as you can see. Now, one reason to go over this novel is it's actually not available as an ebook. I checked online and I don't find any internet source for this story at all. Welcome to the channel where we munch on multiple nerdy things, from board games to Dungeons & Dragons, comic books to toys, video games on Saturdays, and gamer snacks on Sundays. We also do monthly giveaways, and for the joyous summer months of June and July, we're going to do a pair of authentic TSR D&D products. I'll put a link down below how you can win this awesome prize. If you're watching this in the future, I'm sorry you missed out. You could click our main channel page for our current giveaway. And if you do enjoy the video you're about to watch, hopefully consider hitting that like and subscribe. It's free to you and helps us out on the channel. Thank you for watching. This book is published by the same duo that did the entire series, David Smith and Richard Tierney. This book was published in 1982, and that's when most of these books came out. I have a feeling they wrote them all around the same time frame. And Boris Vallejo, who does the cover art, probably did the artwork for all 6 books at the same time frame as well. The cover here is the main draw of this story. You can see Red Sonja here in repose. I don't think this is a scene that takes place in the book, but you can see Boris's signature right here along with the date 1982. So it's a very wonderful piece of artwork though. Probably the best in the bunch. Let's flip it to the back and we could get a sense of the story here. She lived in a savage world in an uncivilized age, a world ruled by men and governed by sword. They called her Red Sonja for her flame red hair, for her smoldering fire of her pride, which gave her sword arm a strength no man had ever defeated. And this blurb here is the only backstory in the entire novel. All 3 other novels prior to this series had a lot of dialogue and paragraphs devoted to her backstory, but they don't do that anymore. I think they have established her as a character and they just move on to the plot, which is a strong plus for this story. So this story specifically, in Sandazar, however, her greatest enemies are not men. One is not even human. Sonja is drawn into a web of intrigue, pitting her wits against 2 of the deadliest creatures on earth, an ancient vampire and a woman burning with a desire for vengeance, which is the daughter herself. Now, Sandazar is a large city east of Sumerian, where Conan is from. All right. I should also point out that on the cover here, there's a little text: from the barbaric lands where Conan roams comes a beautiful war even he cannot best. This is the first time they actually mentioned Conan in the entire series. I took a look ahead in the other books, and I don't think it has the same blurb on the top. Maybe it'll be on the back, but it's not on the cover. So if you had no idea that Red Sonja had an origin with Conan, well, this is the way you would have found out. Before I get deeper into the story, let me give you a quick overview. First of all, I think this story is quite fantastic. In the beginning, as most of the other books in the series, Sonja sort of takes a back story to the plot and machinations of what is going on in the political intrigue of the story. She is sort of a side character, and it's only at the end that she defeats a big baddie and be the hero and main character in the chapter. Because most of the chapters here, she is just mentioned in passing or not even in the chapter. That being said, this is probably the most complicated story in this series, as there are multiple characters going on different pathways, and it's only at the end that they intersect with each other, which makes for a fantastic story. The novel starts off with a bang with Eldithor, who is one of the lords in Shady, and he is conducting a ritual, torturing and about to sacrifice a naked virgin. So that's how this story starts off. He is doing this ritual to basically put a curse on someone, but his ritual is interrupted by another lord, Naylor, and he actually turns out to be the hero, but actually, of course, he is the villain. He is the one that persuaded Eldithor to do this ritual in the beginning. Because Eldithor is executed for this treasonous act, Naylor's status in the city is elevated. Now, he is doing this all on the behest of Curse, who is a vampire. So that is the big baddie in this story. Red Sonja is in this city, enjoying the spoils of a recent campaign victory, and has a lot of gold in her pouch. And during one of her outings, she encounters a woman that is being assaulted, and it is by the vampire, and finds her drained of blood. Meanwhile, Eldithor's daughter Ariel is upset that her father has been executed. She investigates his old study and finds a lot of magical artifacts. He's not known to be a sorcerer, and apparently finds out that he learned magic through the notes and dealings with a certain witch. So she gets all these artifacts, gathers up all these notes, and tries to learn magic herself. She finds out that there was a witch that was helping her father accomplish this goal, and finds the witch herself and goes to her dwelling. She ends up killing this witch and has access to more artifacts now and is even more powerful. And by the way, who happens to live downstairs from the witch, renting a room? It's Red Sonja. So she ends up investigating and finds a artifact, a talisman that was well hidden. And she uses this subsequently later to help defeat the vampire. That is the main plot of the story. There's some other side characters such as Sendez, who was a guard for Eldithor, but ends up working for Naylor. He also was a lover to the daughter, and becomes a character that she uses to hypnotize to kill Naylor, but that ends up not working. There's also a group of street urchins that Red Sonja befriends. She gives them some coin on occasion for food, and they follow her around like lost puppies. So she uses their street smarts to keep tabs on Naylor as well as Curse the vampire. There is even a handmaid to the daughter, Lena, and she is used subsequently as bait to draw out the vampire. In the end, Red Sonja and her new group of friends are able to capture the vampire at night and subsequently control and hold him until dawnbreak and use the sunlight to finish him off. Basically, they were stabbing him with iron swords and throwing salt on him to cause pain. So I haven't heard salt used to injure a vampire, but that's what happens in this story. Who knows? Maybe it was garlic salt. The final battle with the vampire is quite cinematic, with all these different characters that you met through all the different side stories coming together, and Red Sonja having the talisman that ends up powering up her sword so it glows very brightly. It's pretty cool. So if you ever are in a used bookstore and see a copy of this or other books in the series, I highly recommend you pick it up. As I mentioned, there's no ebook. You're not going to find this story on Kindle. Thanks for watching, everyone. Keep on adventuring out there.